to Healthy Lifestyle. I'm Lori Anne Casdia. Our goal here at Healthy Lifestyle is to inspire, educate, and empower you to fulfill a healthy, emotional, spiritual, and physical life so you can feel empowered to live the life you have always wanted and dreamed. So we talk about all kinds of things for our healthy lifestyle on our show, and I really appreciate that you tune in week after week. Today we have on our show Karen Scutellaro. She's co-owner of Port Lifestyle Magazine. Welcome, Karen.
Thank you, Lori Anne. Pleasure to be here.
So glad you're here. So let's talk about this magazine. Tell me something about it.
Why? What have you heard?
Well, I understand it's a luxury magazine.
It's a luxury publication,
Yep.
being direct mail to affluent homes, $1 to $14 million in certain territories. Company has been operating for a little over 10 years.
Lifestyle publications.
Yep. There's 90 publications currently, 60 launching this year. And we are expanding into a market here on the North Shore, and we're very, very excited about it.
Yeah, you should be. It's a beautiful, beautiful publication.
Thank you.
So,
80-pound stock cover, 70-pound stock paper.
there you go.
I'm learning.
Which is totally meaningless to most people, but it's just a really nice, heavy cardstock, and it's beautiful. It's very similar to other magazines as far as look goes, to magazines that used to be here on Long Island.
Right.
So that's exciting. But what really had me interested in this is your why you got involved in the magazine. So what transpired that got
That's
you?
a great question, Lori Anne. I'm glad you asked.
Well, I'm glad you're glad.
So
it's going to be one of those interviews today, isn't it, Karen?
Be one of those interviews. So forming a foundation right now. Funny enough, it's called Angel Gloves, and it's in memory of my son Joseph. And the magazine is a very Ivory Snow publication. There's nothing diversive, no political negative news. It's just about promoting positivity, local heroes, local business, very hyper local, and
family friendly.
Very family friendly.
Right.
And proceeds from the publication will go to the foundation, Angel Gloves.
Mm-hmm.
And the home office is also of the same mindset to support the foundation. So when this opportunity presented itself, it was, as you would say, from universe. I wasn't looking to get into publishing or anything of that nature, but this is just a beautiful opportunity to spread positivity, highlight local good doers, and give back to community.
I love that. Yeah, the Lifestyle Publications is very philanthropic as well. So I love that you want to take this Angel Glove Foundation, which I want to circle back to in a moment, but the Angel Gloves Foundation, and take proceeds and go directly to the foundation. Now, the foundation is in memory of your son.
Yeah.
And the proceeds of the foundation, the money that you're raising and the foundation, where does that go to?
It started that I wanted to do something in memory of my son to honor him and give back to a not-for-profit, the local chapters in West Babylon called Long Island Adult and Teen Challenge. Again, we've spoke about this before. Mm-hmm. They take on students, if you will, for 9 to 12 months, and they don't turn anyone away from addiction if they don't have insurance. So it's just a really beautiful faith-based treatment facility, and I want to support them. And as far as other charitable organizations, I'm interested in raising money for what I'm passionate about as well.
Yeah, I understand that the funding also goes to any organizations that do take care of any type of addiction. So I love that thought process. So tell me why Angel Gloves. What was that name? How did that name derive?
So funny. These are all leading questions, people. So last year, through my grief, I wanted to do something to help Long Island Adult and Teen Challenge, and I went to my friend Jeff Cohen, who's one of the founders of Long Island Fight for Charity. This is actually the 17th year.
Wow.
And I asked Jeff, I says, how do I get how do I get Long Island Teen Challenge on the radar for this year's fight? And he says, well, you have to find a boxer. And I'm like, okay, I'll ask my son Angelo. You know, he boxed when he was in high school. And he's like, no, you have to get in the ring. And I'm like, are you crazy? I don't like violence. I've never played a sport. And that is the last thing I want to do. So Jeff is a very, very good salesman, very persuasive. So lo and behold, I wound up getting in the ring for the November 25th match.
This past November.
Mm-hmm. And my boxing name is Angel Gloves.
And why is that?
Because I want to fight the good fight.
There you go.
Do you really want to know where Angel Gloves came from?
Yeah.
So about 12 years ago, I remember I was at the gym and someone was talking about a friend of theirs who got a tattoo of an angel with boxing gloves. And I was like, oh my gosh, that resonates so much with me.
Right.
So I got a tattoo of an angel with boxing gloves on my hip. But the funny thing is, I never really see it. And when I was thinking last year, what should my boxing name be? I actually was probably in the shower, but I was like, oh my gosh, Angel Gloves.
Yeah.
So there you have it, Angel Gloves.
Yeah. So, and the reason why I had you tell that story is that we talk about this on the show a lot, is how things in the universe puts things in front of us. So all along through your life, and I need to circle back to another story you had told me. All your life, you gather these things and you put the tools in your toolbox, and then as you go through life, you're able to use those tools. And here you got this tattoo that resonated with you called Angel Gloves. Then you ended up fighting and calling yourself Angel Gloves.
Right. Well, the tattoo's not called Angel Gloves. Right. It's just an angel with boxing gloves.
Sure. But that's where you came from.
Yep.
You now have an angel in your son, mm-hmm. who you're naming the foundation Angel Gloves for and after. So there's always, even though sometimes things just seem so out of sorts, it's amazing how it
right.
Eventually
there's no coincidences.
Right. It all collects and comes to
the puzzle was being built throughout my life.
Yeah. And I love that story. But what's even more incredible is you were telling me that you were telling your partner that the story about
when I was
magazine.
a kid, when I was a child.
Yeah, So
here's a funny story. Uh-huh. Yeah, I'm just cutting her off.
No, it's okay. I'm used to it.
So when I was a little girl, I remember my mom always used to watch like World War II movies and Vietnam movies. I remember The Deer Hunter and Coming Home. And I cannot watch violence. It just disturbs me.
Yeah,
anyway. So I remember saying that wouldn't it be nice if I grew up and was able to put a newspaper or a magazine like a Reader's Digest together? You know, we're going back into the early 70s of just positive stories and happy stories and beautiful stories. And time after time, I was told that won't sell.
Right.
That won't sell.
Yes.
That won't sell. So when I found out about what lifestyle publications, their mission statement is and what's passionate to them, it was all about positivity and promoting, the unsung heroes and things like that. So I was like, this is my opportunity to marry those two, the foundation, as well as just putting positivity and beauty into the world, because there's so much diversiveness and negativity and toxicity. And I'd rather have something positive out there.
Yeah, and I think we all want to read something positive and be associated with things that are positive, and because the negative stuff is really covered very well. And we don't need any more of that.
No,
so,
I'm not playing in that sandbox.
No. And I love that. And you're also lifting local businesses up. So you're always giving back. You gave back when you got into the ring to fight, I was at that fight and you were outstanding. You did a good job. All the participants did a really good job.
Oh my gosh, yeah. Great group of people.
Yeah.
Love them.
Long Island Fight for Charities is a really great organization. They actually take the funds that they raise, and they raise a lot of funds. And then they give them back to various organizations on Long Island.
Yeah, well, not-for-profits.
Yeah, non-for-profits, yeah. So that it's a constant give back, and I see that you do that, but you are also lifting up local businesses, and so many times they get told the same story. Oh, that's not a sexy story. And you know what's really sexy is
we're going to make it sexy. We're going to bring sexy back.
There you go. You're bringing sexy back. I love it. But the thing is every story is exciting and lifts people up. You never know how you're going to touch someone. I don't know if I ever told you this story, Karen, but my dad was a musician. He was a teacher and then a superintendent of schools here on Long Island years ago. And he used to teach a lot of students. And then when I was traveling for business for a long time ago, when I was in the private sector, working for another organization, I was traveling around the country, and I went to California of all places, and I met this person at one of my clients, and they were talking to me, and they saw my last name, and they went, "Are you Ed's daughter?" And I was like, "Yeah." And they went, "He was my teacher, but for him, I would have either been in jail, dead, or doing things that I should not have done."
Beautiful.
Isn't that beautiful?
I love that.
And they ended up being a professor, teaching other students, and just really giving back to society. So you never know how you influence people, how you touch lives. Yeah. I've always thought, and again, I come from two teachers. I've always thought that teachers have this great opportunity to really positively impact the future by teaching our young and giving them the tools that they need to be the best humans they're supposed to be when they're here. So I love that story. And it didn't just happen once. It didn't happen twice. It dozens and dozens of times.
Oh, that's wonderful.
I have stories like that. And
I love it.
People have sent CDs to my dad when he was alive. And they would dedicate the CDs to him because they were musicians and the whole nine yards.
Oh, that's amazing.
Musicians in pits on Broadway. They all came from my dad.
That's wonderful.
Yeah.
I love it.
So you never know how you can positively affect someone.
Right.
So we don't need all this negativeness, right?
No.
Yeah. So I'm so excited about this magazine. It's called Port Lifestyle.
Yep.
And you're all port front in the Setauket,
Poquat, Belterre, Port Jefferson,
Oldfield,
Miller
Place,
Mount
Mount Sinai.
I think it's from Stony Brook to Rocky Point.
Yeah.
All the affluent homes from $1 million to $14 million.
Yeah, that's a really nice demographics. And they get this in their house. They pay for it or
No, it's direct mail. Mm-hmm. And
it's free.
Yes. And what I love about it is it's like a coffee table book. That's the quality of this publication. It's just stunning. And what I love is if I have the numbers correct, and I should, 83% of the homes that the publication goes into actually read it cover to cover and keep it for 2 weeks. It's a monthly
minimum
subscription,
of 2 weeks.
A minimum of 2 weeks, yeah. And 63% of the homes that it goes to actually do business with the advertising partners that are included in the publication.
Oh my, those are really great numbers.
Yeah, and what I love about the publication is it's 50% advertising partners, 50% content.
Let's talk about the content. What kind of content do you have in there?
Well, this is what is so exciting to me. So, there's a section called Good Times. So the publisher has the decision to choose who they want to put in this. So this is, let's say we have a not-for-profit, let's say like Friends of Karen, who helps families from the age of birth to 18 who has life-threatening illnesses, right? And if they have, let's say they have a local fundraiser or something, we can send our photographers and possibly staff writers down, and they can, do a piece possibly on it, but take photographs and highlight what the event was about and who it's helping. And that would go in under the good times section.
Wow.
So then there's another section that's around town that talks about local businesses or local civic organizations and what's going on around town for them. And then there's another section.
Almost like a press release area?
Yep, that's exactly right. And then there's another section that has a monthly calendar of events. So these are really great pieces that the magazine puts out, and the people love it. The homes that this goes to really love it, and that's what makes it so sticky for them, if you will, that they want to keep it for a couple of weeks and just to make sure that they're up to date on what's going on around town or what new events are going on or what local heroes are being honored and things of that nature.
Yeah, that term sticky is a marketing term, which means it sticks. It means you keep it in the house for a long period of time. So it seems like, based on these numbers, that they're getting their magazine and they're keeping it until the next magazine. And that's really good for the articles. It's good for your, would you call them advertising partners?
Advertising partners, yeah.
Partners. And why do you call them partners?
Well, because this isn't a magazine, this isn't a publication that's a fit for necessarily everybody, right? I want this to be very high-end. This is a very high-end publication, and I want it to be like-minded human beings. You know, people who are out to make a difference, affect a positive change, as well as, you know, hawk their wares, if you will, in the publication.
I noticed that you have an upcoming edition, and it's all about the spy ring over in Setauket. Are you going to do a lot of that historical?
Absolutely.
Type articles?
Yes. There's so much culture. There's so much culture
on
here.
Long Island, isn't there?
Oh my gosh, yeah. And
that excites me because
it's very exciting because everybody wants to know more. You know, your local historical societies put publications out, you know, on anniversaries and things like that. But it's so rich with culture and history. So we want to highlight that, and as well as local positive events.
Yeah. So it's a nice combination of now and then.
Yeah.
I like that combination a lot. That sounds so exciting. And are you going to highlight the real name for Port Jefferson being Drowned Meadow? I love that story.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, of course.
Yeah.
Port lifestyle.
Yeah. Well, it's called Port, as you explained it to me, not just because it's Port Jefferson, but because they're all port fronts.
Exactly.
So I noticed that on all of it, and it's going into very affluent homes. So and now with the partners, do you have a limitation of how many partners you take? Or? Oh,
absolutely. We are very selective on what partnerships that we enter into. I don't believe that we would even consider anything more than 3, if that many.
3
per industry, if you will.
Per category, yeah.
Yeah.
And why is that?
That's a great question. What do you think?
What do I think? If I were to read your mind, I would think that you want to limit it so that it doesn't become one of those like it doesn't become a restaurant guide or a car guide.
Exactly.
Did I win? Would I win?
You did very well.
Thank you.
I'm proud of you.
Thank you. Thank you very much. I couldn't believe you gave me a test right there. That was, I started to sweat. No, I think that's great. And what type of qualities are you looking for in your partners?
Long-term
partnerships.
And I'm glad that you brought that up, because another exciting, something that really excited me was, there was a third-party auditing firm who audited the existing publications over their tenure. And what was so exciting to me is there's 3 categories for partnership. One is a 12-month trial period. The second is a 24-month, and the third is a 36-month. And the for return on investment for our partners was amazing, because I believe the 12-month partnership, the rate of renewal for those partners that signed up for 12 months was 70%.
Wow.
In the 70s.
Right.
The 24-month partnerships, when they came up for renewal, was in the 80%.
So you're saying they renewed 80% of the time, the people who took 24 months commitment renewed.
Yep. And the 36-month partnerships renewed over 90% of time.
That's a great return.
It's an amazing return. Yeah. And I've yet to see that return of investment on any other publication that I've researched to date.
Wow, that's very impressive.
Yeah.
That's real impressive. Well, it's a beautiful, beautiful magazine. I'm looking at it right now, and it's just
I'm
very
pretty
sleek.
Excited about it.
Yeah.
Really excited
The
about
imagery is gorgeous.
Oh
now,
my gosh, it's beautiful.
Yeah. When we come back from the half, I really want to talk about the team that you have back in, you said Kansas, right?
Kansas City,
yeah. The winners of the Super Bowl, too.
I was just out there right before the Super Bowl.
Oh, my goodness. Yeah. When we come back, I really want to talk more about about that, the team that you have put together, and then talk a little bit more about content in the magazine. So
sounds good.
If you want to hang on for a second, you are listening to Healthy Lifestyle. I'm Lori Anne Casdia. We're speaking to Karen Scutellaro, co-owner of Port Lifestyle Magazine, and we will be right back. Welcome back to Healthy Lifestyle. I'm Lori Anne. If you have any questions, comments, or ideas you'd like to hear more about, please email us at healthylifestylewithla@gmail.com. That's healthylifestylewithla@gmail.com. And also follow us on social media at Healthy Lifestyle with LA. We love hearing from you, and we answer every single email and post personally. And we're looking forward to live streaming soon, so look for that as well. So you want to go on and like our Healthy Lifestyle Facebook page and Instagram, because we will be live streaming. With that, we're back here in the studio with Karen Scutellaro. She's a co-owner of Port Lifestyle Magazine. And we were just talking about the magazine and your partners and things like that. So let's talk more about the partners that you're working with. We spoke about what you kind of look for, same like-mindedness, giving back to community, being just good humans, providing a service that's good for other people. We talk about serving each other on the show. Mm-hmm. And what other kind of industries are you looking for, or categories, if you will?
That's a great question. So because we're going into an affluent market, mm-hmm. We really want to be selective with who we partner with, such as high-end luxury realtors, high-end interior design, decorating, architecture, high-end furniture, high-end home improvement, such as marble and tile, or high-end landscaping. In the medical field, we entertain working with some high-end dentists and beautiful spas and luxury auto dealers and possibly cosmetic surgery and jewelers and things that would appeal to, and fashion, things that would appeal to our readership.
Yeah. It's really going. You had mentioned your demographics of 1 million, I think, to 14 million.
$1 to $14 million homes.
And I see here 35 to 65 is the demographics on this as well.
Correct.
So that's the age group that you're going into.
Right.
So that's a really good...
It's a great market.
Great market to be in.
It's a great market.
Yeah.
Really excited about it.
And the content is beautiful. The articles are just really well written.
It's stunning.
You have local... Now, as I understand it, you have local photographers and writer staff.
That's correct.
But you have corporate office back in Kansas
City, yeah.
And is that where your graphic team is? Because the layouts are very clean and crisp.
Oh my gosh, yeah. So, our ad designers and our layout designers and our copy editors, they also provide us, if we want, with contributing writers and contributing photographers. Our whole corporate team is out there. It's amazing. When I went out there to tour corporate, I felt very dated. I felt like all of these young people that are extremely talented are 12.
Yeah.
They're 12. They're millennials.
Yeah.
And they're so.
But you mean that with love.
Because absolutely.
You have 3 millennials yourself, as I have too. So,
yes.
Yeah. It's just a very young team, but that's why it's so crisp and modern.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. It's stunning. It's a stunningly beautiful publication.
How would someone get in touch with you to see a copy of this, speak with you if they're interested in being in the magazine or having an article written? I know you really like to write interesting articles about what people are doing.
Absolutely.
Good things people are doing.
Absolutely. Well, they can always reach me at my email address, which is karen.scutellaro@lifestylepubs.com. That's Karen, Karen Scutellaro, Scutellaro @lifestylepubs.com.
That's great. Yeah, I'm getting a lot of questions here, and one of the questions was, how do they get in touch with you? So that's a very exciting proposition that you have going out there. I just want to circle back. We were talking about your Angel Gloves Foundation. I want to speak more about that. That's a give back organization.
Absolutely.
Portions of the proceeds coming from Port Lifestyle magazine is going to go to this foundation.
Directly to the foundation. That's correct.
And this foundation, you have a board that you've put together, a board of trustees.
Yes.
They're overseeing, and that you have oversight.
Yes.
I'm going to ask you a little bit of a tough question, because this is, I know, something that's important to our listenership. I know it's important to me, is the break between the administrative costs and how much of the funds that you raise go actually back to these organizations. Is it 75% goes to the organizations and the rest goes to administration? Is it 80-20?
No, it's at least 80-20.
80-20.
80 to the foundations, to the organizations that we want to work with and support, no more than 20%. And we would love to get that down less than that for administrative costs. To
90-10 administrative costs. Yeah. I love that you put this whole thing together. How does it make you feel as it's unfolding? Because this is a newer foundation.
Yeah, this is definitely, it's a new foundation. Sometimes I feel like it's an out of body experience, that it's kind of taking on a life of its own. But this just gives me, I'm very passionate about making a difference and using my experiences and my family's experiences to support and help others. And if we can, raise money and give it where it's needed, that just gives me so much peace and joy.
And it's not just raising money, right? You're not only raising money, but you're raising awareness and also providing tools that maybe weren't there when you lost your son.
Yes.
Yeah. There was a dirge. I know. I understand, because I went through a family member having an addiction, a very hard addiction, and there was nowhere to turn. Yeah, and it was really hard to find.
The organization, Long Island Adult and Teen Challenge, actually was our saving grace. But unfortunately, when you're an addict and when you're addicted. He was in there for 9 months. He came out. He was supposed to be in there for 14 months, and he thought he had it all under control. And I was like, you don't have an exit strategy. You should be nervous. The fact that you feel you've got it under control, And, but I will say that the time my son was, in treatment with, Long Island Adult and Teen Challenge, it gave us my son back. It gave my children their brother back, and he was all fences were mended and nothing was left unsaid. And it was, we found joy and love and spirit together. And had he succumbed to his addiction prior to going in there, all of those unresolved issues would have, I can't even imagine how that would have weighed on our hearts and souls, but I have to thank them for at least giving us all peace, and nothing was left unsaid. So I'm grateful for that.
You're very strong. I just have great admiration for you, the courage of stepping out and just starting up the foundation in memory of your son, and going out and doing this so that you can help other people. And again, true believer to my depths of the fact that we're here to serve one another and to learn lessons. Right. And through this all, if you were to give one piece or a number of pieces of advice to someone out there who's going through that right now, what would that advice be? What could you give them that might be helpful?
Wow. That's a poignant question.
Well, while you're thinking about that, can I persuade you to do your Carol Burnett?
No.
Oh, well, all right.
I'm not performing today. The only advice I can give is to put it up to God.
Surrender.
That's because it's, we're powerless, they feel powerless. And again, I'll say what I've said 100 times the first time in December of 2014, when I found out that Joseph was using heroin and he had overdosed, but he was still with us. I asked him point blank, I'm like, really? Was that worth it? And his response to me was, Mommy, it was like being hugged by Jesus. So good luck good luck making your way out of that. And it can be done. It's a battle. But in our situation, this world was too much for him, and he had too much pain, and it was an accident. It wasn't intentional, but so anything I can do to help other people, or at least share my story, and
well, this is not an unusual story, an uncommon story. No. This is unfortunately for us, it's very common for us to have that kind of story in our area, and
it's really heartbreaking.
It's so normal. It's almost normalized.
Right. It doesn't discriminate.
No.
I've never been ashamed of my son. My son is a beautiful spirit, but when you're swept up and you can't see your way out of addiction, it's devastating and traumatic to watch a piece of your soul, your child, go through that, and there's nothing you can do.
Yeah, no, I understand that feeling, because I felt like I was on a turtle on my back, that there was just nothing I could do to stop that forward momentum. It was up to them to change it.
And I have to say, the only time I was ever able to breathe or relax is in the many times that my son was in treatment, because I knew he was safe.
Right.
And I could exhale.
Yeah. No, I understand that. That's, it's real. It really takes a lot out. It really takes a lot out, and it makes you feel like you don't have the control that we all think that we have.
No, we have no control.
Yeah.
All we can do is love. And, there's tough love, and, none of it's easy. None of it's easy.
Yeah. Yeah, I get that. So Angel Gloves Foundation, again, can they reach out to the same email if they want to get involved with the foundation, contribute to the foundation?
Absolutely. Again, Karen.Scutellaro@lifestylepubs.com.
And I'll add that information on the bottom. So
happy to talk to anybody who's struggling.
Yeah. And the Teen Challenge that's a great organization.
Yeah.
There's a lot of really nice organizations that have come out of this, and a lot more awareness of opioids and opioid addiction and abuse. And there are some really good tools out there now that are helpful for the families, because the families are going through something totally different, yet
it's
very similar.
It's devastating.
Yeah, and it is kind of like you've gone to war, but it's a different kind of war.
Yeah.
And hopefully we can save some people's lives.
I'd love to eradicate that.
Yeah, that would be good. So you're doing it through your Port, beautiful Port Lifestyle magazine.
Thank you.
And what else is going on in the world of Karen Scutellaro?
Again, why? What have you heard?
Nothing. I love that you're out there really promoting this and facilitating businesses.
Yeah.
Through the magazine.
Well, it's funny because my partner and I are both very connected in the business communities across Long Island. So what we're great at doing is putting people together. I used to be dubbed the corporate matchmaker. So what I'm really looking forward to doing is supporting my advertising partners and putting networking events together. And
let's talk about the networking events. What's going on with that?
Oh, well, there's a million things that, I have in mind for us to do. I know when the publication, when the magazine launches late this spring, we're going to have a launch party. And obviously I'm going to invite all of our advertising partners, as well as other businesses that would be important for my partners in the magazine to meet and help their businesses grow, and
connecting each other.
Yeah, meaningful introductions.
Yes,
not just an introduction just to say hi.
Yeah. So they can help each other and work with each other, and
yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, no, that's exciting.
Yeah, let's bring people together
and having it through networking. So not only do they get the magazine, there are networking events, and aren't you online as well? Yeah,
that we're also online, so that helps with their SEO ratings.
Yeah, it really lifts them up in Google, right?
Yeah. So it's all pros.
Yeah.
Everything associated with this, the publication home office vetted my partner and I deeply, as we vetted them deeply before we agreed to sign on the dotted line and join forces to expand into the markets that we're going into out here. So I'm really looking forward to seeing what this evolves into. it's the sky's the limit, let's help community and raise awareness and give back. And that's what it's about.
You use this term hyper local. What do you mean?
Yes, I don't mean a hyper local forecast.
Right.
I mean the markets that we're going into. Everything is hyper local. We want to focus hyper locally on the unsung heroes, if you will, and the civic organizations, promoting them, and not-for-profits in those areas, as well as the businesses.
So getting the information out about the different services that are out there, so people similar to this program, so that people are aware that it's out there.
Right.
And then this way, connecting them in a different way. So you're connecting business to business, but you're also connecting residents and community with each other,
Yep.
so they can support each other. So.
And that's really what resonated with me.
Yeah. Doing that kind of connection and lifting everybody up, right?
Yep.
Yeah. So that's a really important element and thing that everybody should be doing some way or another. It makes you feel better, doesn't it?
Absolutely.
And doing a vehicle like this, did that help lift you out of what you were going through?
Absolutely.
Because I see a different Karen today than I did a year ago.
Yeah, a year ago I was still stuck in mourning, rightfully so. When I decided to train for the Fight for Charity, that was 7 months. So it was 4 times a week of me training for 2.5 hours to prepare to get in the ring.
Yeah, you definitely in the ring channeled your advocate, that's for sure.
Yeah, I didn't think it was going to happen up until about 3 weeks before the event. I didn't even want to engage or get hit. So it was more working on defense. But then the night of the event, I had some fire in my belly. I was annoyed at a few things, and I haven't been annoyed in a long time. But from an overall perspective, it helped me work through a lot of the grief. And, I guess I'd liken it to PTSD. I still have good days and bad days. But, I mean, it's going to be what it is. I allow it to be what it is.
Right. But you keep moving forward and you keep trying new things. And literally, and I mean this with all due respect, you were a shell of who you are.
Yeah.
And now you're back. You're back.
Yeah.
And I'm
back as much as I could be back.
Yeah. You're back with a purpose. You're back and serving other people.
Yeah.
And you could just see the lights back and the glimmers back in your eye. You're sassy and fresh again, which I'll talk to you later about. No, I'm kidding. I like the sass.
I'm not very sassy anymore. I used to be much sassier.
Yeah, no, but I like your sass. You have good sass. It's positive and fun sass.
Yeah.
It's never in a destructive way, and that's something that I really commend you for.
Thank you.
It's all good stuff. Well, in the last few moments, I love your why. I think our listeners would resonate with your why. Just share it with us. Why you do what you do across the board. We were just kind of talking about it, giving back and serving other people, right?
Yeah.
And it just fills you up.
I've always felt that way since childhood, always do what's right. It's not always easy. It is not always easy.
Of course not.
But be of use in this world. I tried to teach that to my children.
Be of use.
Be of use. I don't care how bad we have it. I don't care what's going on. Someone always has something going on worse than us. Be grateful for what we have.
Yeah.
And always try and help other people. And be positive. And just a smile or holding a door open for someone. It's all the small things. Those are really the things that matter.
I agree. I totally agree. Karen, thank you so much for being on.
Thank you for having me
Good
again.
luck with the publication.
Thank you so much.
Port Lifestyle Magazine. And to get in touch with you one more time with your email.
It's Karen, Karen .Scutellaro, SCUTELLARO @lifestylepubs.com.
Thank you so much. And thank you all for joining us today on Healthy Lifestyle. My heart is lifted by sharing this time with you. And I want to thank my guest today, Karen Scutellaro, co-owner of Port Lifestyle Magazine. And of course, our producer, Michael, because he's just extraordinary and we adore him. I just got the thumbs up, so we're good. We are here, as I always say, to serve one another. So take a moment, step out of your day and do a little something for someone else. It doesn't have to be big. And of course, start habits for yourself. It takes 21 days days to build a habit and 90 days to build a lifestyle. So start with one habit.
Oh, it takes 90 days to...
Aha, there you go. 90 days to build a lifestyle. And start with a little habit. Do something for yourself. You really deserve it. It'll make you feel better. You give back to the world. Whatever that is, just start it. Do it. Find the joy in life as we find here on Healthy Lifestyle. We're joyful that you're with us every single week. So thank you so much for that. Thank you for joining us today on Healthy Lifestyle. I'm Lori Anne Casdia. Play a higher role, serve a higher purpose, show up for you, and show up big.
Thank you.